Hi and welcome to the Art of Tarot. My name is Stephanie and this is a reading for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Mars for January 2021. Crazy, we're already in the new year. I think we can all agree that we're happy to leave 2020 behind. I hope it's going to be an easier year that's coming up for all of us. So just for the people who are new here, I work with Western astrology, I work with the tarot cards, and I use occasionally other divination tools, but mostly I use the tarot. And I go into general energies in the beginning of the reading. While I shuffle the cards, I talk a little bit about the astrology, just a short overview. And then in the middle of the reading, around the middle of the reading, I go into love and relationship energies, although I want to say I am here to really, on this channel, emphasize on you as an individual and your journey in self-actualization and also in working on the self more than, you know, looking at other people and what they're doing. But of course, if you're a cross-watcher, you can find answers here maybe for your situation. But I do really want you to put you first and not another person. Yeah, let's get started. So astrology for December was pretty intense, as probably a lot of you know. We had the eclipse season, which is always bringing intense, sometimes even sudden changes, new beginnings and endings in certain areas in our lives. It depends on where that falls in your horoscope. And we have this big astrological event that was happening by the end of the month on the 21st. Or is happening because I'm recording this a little earlier, which is the big Jupiter and Saturn conjunction in Aquarius that a lot of people are talking about. It is really it's a portal. It's supposed to be a portal into a new way of thinking and doing things, a new sense of consciousness also, especially because it's in Aquarius and that's about higher consciousness, higher thinking, also the community. So yes, it's gonna be interesting. And this is not a quick, sudden energy. It's a start of something. So we will see how that unfolds probably in the next year. So also we have a new moon in Capricorn. We have a full moon in Leo this month, and we oh, that's your sign. We have a full moon in your sign on the 28th. Big deal. So prepare yourself for your full moon. Sometimes that brings things to the surface that you weren't aware of. That comes with the moon energy often, especially emotionally speaking, your inner realm. Because the moon is also hidden things, right? So just beware that you're prepared. It's with the moon energy, I always say it's something that's changing and it's volatile, so nothing lasts forever with the moon. So if you know that, then with the moon it can be very comforting to know that this is just an energy for a couple of days and then it's gonna go away again. Also, we have a very earthy month with Capricorn, the Sun in Capricorn, and also Mars going into Taurus, Venus going into Capricorn. So it's a very, it's a month where we really look at results when it comes to work, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to love. So we don't really go for the whole imaginary thing. It really is about having results and putting the work in to gain results. I like that. Eight of Swords. You're starting this month with the Eight of Swords. This is a challenging card, I have to say, because it's about really a mental trap or a feeling of being mentally trapped in situation and you can't get out of it, and often it comes with disturbances from the outside as well. And actually the disturbances from the outside are often only so much real than we make it, but of course I'm not saying that it's just that easy to not get disturbed, you know, but often this is also and I think it might have to also talk about It might have to do with talking about the moon energy that I was talking about, because the Eight of Swords is often also a card where we just have to wait it out in a way. To calm down our minds, to take a step back, not try to solve anything in our minds. Very important, because the Eight of Swords, going further in your mind and trying to find solutions and trying to find a way out, it's only going to get you in the Nine of Swords, and we don't want to go there. So sometimes it's best to just wait it out. It's a little bit of a mental cocooning, I often say. And when the butterfly is ready, it's ready, you know. But it's not going to be ready if you force it to grow faster. And that butterfly represents the idea, or the mental clarity to get yourself out of that situation when it comes to your mind. So, Five of Cups. Okay. It really might be about going from the thinking into the feeling here, because there is a sense of, with the Five of Cups, of course, there is a sense of disappointment that comes in here, and there is a feeling of heaviness that comes in here, and you might have not wanted to go there. And you might have found a lot of different ways to keep your mind busy in a merry-go-round even, so you don't have to go feel this. It might be related with Scorpio season, which is not too long ago. Let's see. Four of Swords. Okay, yes, I think there is an element of mental integration about some certain. There's definitely an element of mental integration, because there's so much mental energy. But the only way to be able to mentally integrate and calm down is to actually feel the uncomfortable. I know it is not the thing people want to hear, or anybody wants to hear. But now it will give you so much more rest, needed rest. I feel like you need rest. By the end of the month, it's really, really important that you give yourself rest and that you integrate mentally what happened throughout this month. It's not that there is something coming up where it's like, wow, this is happening, you know. It's more like, I think it's something that you already know about. I think it's about cycles. We have the Devil card showing up here on the bottom of the deck. It's probably about some sort of cycles that you feel like you cannot really free yourself from. Maybe it's coming back again, especially with the full moon in your sign end of December. It can come up again. An issue can come up again where you felt like, oh, I'm over this. But maybe it's a last round. With the full moon in your own sign, it's often the last round to go through something. And therefore, the full moon is also asking you to release a pain. And that's only possible if you feel it. You know, it's tricky and it's annoying, but it is what it is. And there's two Jupiters here. We cannot forget that there's two Jupiter cards here. So Jupiter in Gemini and Jupiter in Libra. Interesting, because Jupiter is really about growth and expansion, and it's the lucky planet. When Jupiter is in Gemini, our mind wants to expand so much that it's, you know, the saying like you're too smart for your own good. I hate that saying because it's kind of a stupid saying, but it is when this Gemini communication within our heads, like, but what if this, blah blah, and the mind is jumping to 100,000 conclusions and non-conclusions, and you know, just like making every argument in your head irrelevant at the same moment. So you're obviously stuck, you know. There's always a counter argument with Jupiter and Gemini, because it's about constant expansion of that dialogue in your head. And at some point you just can't, you know, you have to just let it go. And I feel like the moment you let it go, it will be a relief mentally, but it will also bring up emotions that are not necessarily comfortable. But I think it's going to be a wave that is just going to even itself out pretty quickly by you then being able to find that harmony again. Because the Four of Swords is a Libra card. So it's Jupiter in Libra, and it's really about expanding the harmony within your mind. Isn't that wonderful? And therefore, you really need to rest. You really do need to rest. And I already saw two really nice cards. Actually, this deck doesn't even want to talk to me anymore. Let's see how that thing plays out in a love relationship situation. World card. This is you. Yes, this is the very ending of an issue, a cycle, a completion in a positive way. This world card is so special because, see, this world card is actually, and there's even a moon here. Look at that. This is a very special world card. It's very different. This world has a tear in its eye. I want to say it's, but it's probably her eye. And it's right above the moon. So it feels that internal emotional energy that the moon is talking about. And endings come with emotional release of all sorts. And even though the world card really speaks about a positive completion in general, especially when it's upright, sometimes we complete situations with a loving and a crying eye. And I think this is what this is talking about. You're completing something where you know you've accomplished so much. At the same time, there comes some sadness with this, that you want to release, or just an emotional overwhelm. It could be just also an emotional overwhelm that something is actually complete here. Very interesting world card. Okay, so there's a lot of cards coming out for you. That is interesting. But this is still something that this is something that might come up with the full moon. That is hidden. This is hidden. This other person though. 10 of Wands. Well, okay, in reverse. It could really be a breakup from your side. Could really be a breakup. 8 of Wands. No more information. It looks very much like a breakup. And a new start into a new cycle. I think something completely new. I think with another person. And if this is not for you, then it's not for you. I know Leo was in such a high energy, strong pace lately that I would not be surprised that you're kicking somebody out and you're like, I'm on a high, and not even on a high, I'm like myself right now. And this is good and this is stable and I feel good about myself, and therefore certain things need to go. It really looks a lot like a breakup, to be honest. And you going into a completely different direction with new love coming your way. So if you are wondering, even if you're leaving behind something that has been a long-term thing, because with the World card, it can be very well be a long journey with a person. There is new love for you. Don't you even think for a second that you cannot find new love, because there's a Fool and an Ace of Cups. So if that's something that's holding you back and you're thinking too much about, don't, because this is what's waiting for you here. What is maybe hidden? The Moon. Okay, that's so interesting. See? This is beautiful. Look at that. 7 of Wands. Okay. The Moon might especially up until the moon cycle, from the full moon to the new moon, is going to be really interesting. The first part of the month for you is going to be really, I think, telling of how to fight for what you actually want, and fight for your boundaries, and really fight the fight. Fight your fight of standing your ground, of drawing clear lines, of going after what you want, of going after your happiness, of going after your joy, of going after your self-expression. It's all the wands energy. Going after the things. And sometimes it's enough to just stand your ground, to go after something, you know, and not move backwards. And I think this is very much what the moon brings up here, even though if you don't fully know every step on the way yet, it doesn't matter, because the moon still comes with this mysterious element. This is a very different reading, and it's very fascinating. So, advice card. And see, even the Fool card has moon here. The new moon is really, it's going to be really telling for you on the 13th. And also think back to your birthday season, actually, when there was the new moon in your sign. What happened? You're completing a cycle from back then, from your birthday season. Wow, yeah, that's what this is about. And it's completing a cycle of standing your ground and drawing clear boundaries. Wow. I love this, because this is, you know, this is why different decks are still really important, because this reading would have come out completely different if I would have used different decks. If I would have used a Rider-Waite deck, for example. Advice. 5 of Wands. Wow, see the conflict as a chance to burn up chains. This is very clear message that I see. See conflict as a chance to burn up the chains that are tying you to a situation. 2 of Cups. True love and healing is on the way. And I think this TLC, this true love and care, really, you're pouring that in your own cup right now. In this deck, also very different. You're pouring it into your own cup. And this is also, at the same time, in this deck, the Temperance. So it's a 2 meaning card. So it's about healing. Wow. Okay, Leo, this is gonna be an intense month for you, I'm pretty sure. But there is so much potential to go into a new state of being, really. Just remember that this is here for you. More like this. So there is a potential to dream, to open yourself up for new love, to go after this big cup that you deserve. And to let it come in and to believe in it. The believing, the Fool is very much about the imagining and about the believing that it's possible to manifest. So yes, I love this. I will talk to you hopefully next month. Please subscribe, like, comment. You find everything you need in the description box below if you're interested in a private reading. And yeah, if you want to leave me a comment, that would be great. It would help me to spread those readings. And I hope I'll see you next time. Bye.